Hey Canucks fans, Canucks training camp opens 2 weeks from today. Let's talk about how important that first day is going to be, especially for young players. I'm Canuck Clay. I'm the founder of the GLCPC, the Good Looking Canucks Positivity Club. This is my Canucks take, all in one take. It's Clay's Canucks commentary for Thursday, September the 9th. If you're new, this is what you should do. Hit the subscribe button now for Canucks Insight, daily Canucks Insight that's positive, timely, and trustworthy. Thanks to everyone who joined Parker and me for Canucks After Dark, our season finale last night. We're starting off season 2 next Monday night, September 13th, by returning to Monday nights. So I hope you join us for that show. Now, speaking of new seasons, the Canucks about ready to embark on a new season, a very highly anticipated season, not just by me, but I think by you as well, and most Canucks fans. And training camp, at least the on-ice portion of training camp, starts 2 weeks from today. I'm sure they'll be doing some physical testing a couple of days before, but they'll hit the ice as a massive group on Thursday, September the 23rd in Abbotsford. And I want to talk about that first day because I think when you look at Travis Green's history, you can learn a lot by who he pairs with who on that first day, whether you're talking about line combinations or deep pairings or systems, personnel, whatever it may be. I think that it's going to be really, really interesting to see what happens on that first day. Now, small caveat, this year, I'm not going to say that whatever he rolls out on day one of training camp is going to be what he starts the season with, because this year, there's not only the training camp of 3 days, but there's also 8 preseason games over a span of 2 weeks, which is a lot different from last season. Last season, in the COVID-shortened season, there were no preseason games. You remember, they went from training camp straight to regular season games. So this year, Travis Green is going to have more time to analyze combinations, chemistry, schemes, personnel, all those type of things. But having said all that, there is still, with Travis Green, a history of him, as Thomas Drance likes to say, making a declaration of intent when it comes to his young players at camp, and especially who they're going to be playing with. So work with me here, and I want to talk about his past, what he's done in the last few years, and then what it might mean for young guys this season. So, when Elias Pettersson started, there was talk, is he going to play center? Is he going to play a wing? He's played a lot of wing. He's played some center. He likes playing center, but where would the Canucks put him? Is he too young to try center? Well, guess what? Travis Green inserted him as a center on the very first day of training camp, a position where Pettersson has stayed in and thrived in ever since. So yeah, imagine if PD wasn't even a center. Just kind of think of the ramifications, the implications that would have on the team going forward, way back 3 or 4 years ago when he first started 3 seasons ago. So that's the first thought, is Travis Green put PD as a center, and the rest, as they say, is history. The next year, on day 1 of training camp, he paired Quinn Hughes with Chris Tanev. And this was in Hughes' rookie season, helped Tanev such a steadying force. Obviously, we saw that what happens when you take Tanev out of the lineup. Hughes' game kind of dropped a little bit, with all due respect to Hamonic. But yes, Travis Green paired Quinn Hughes with Chris Tanev in Hughes' rookie season on day 1 of training camp, and that was the one combination that stayed constant for that entire season. Then you go to last year's training camp, and you have Neal Hoglander, and he comes in, and I believe he started training camp on the second line already. And this was a surprise to me, because I remember I thought that Hoglander was a long shot to make the team out of camp, but there he was on the second line with Bo Horvat and Tanner Pearson, coming from the first days of camp. So our three biggest kind of, and I can't remember what happened with Bester immediately before. I don't even know if Travis Green was running that camp. Now I think about it, Bester's played 4 seasons now, 5 seasons. No, it wasn't even Travis Green. So if you go PD, and then PD starting at center, Hughes being paired with Tanev, and then Hoglander playing with Horvat and Pearson right up from the start of camp, you can see these declarations of intent that Thomas Drance talks about. And I've noticed that before as well. So on one hand, you don't want to get too worked up, too caught up in what we see on day 1 of training camp, despite how excited we are to see day 1 of training camp. So on one hand, you don't want to do that. But on the other hand, there have been points, and we can point to in the past, where Travis Green has set a combo or a line combination or a D pairing and stuck with that throughout throughout the season. So that brings us to next year, my friends. And I think of 2 guys in particular. I think of Vasily Podkolzin, and I think of Jack Rathbone. Where are those guys? Young guys again, in all my examples, I use rookies as my example. PD is a rookie, Hughes is a rookie, Hoglander is a rookie. Well, Podkolzin's going to be a rookie, and Jack Rathbone, despite his few games at the end of last season, he is also considered a rookie as well. So where will these guys be? All eyes, I know my eyes are going to be on who they skate with on that very first day. Because if you see Podkolzin skating with Horvat and Garland, for instance, on that second line, Travis Green, he makes his decisions with a lot of deliberation, a lot of intentionality. So if we see Podkolzin skating on the second line with Horvat and Garland, then of course things could change. But my guess is that's the way Travis Green wants to go. And because why would you waste time, right? You could try combinations, but you only try them if at least you're going to give them some chance to work out. If you see Podkolzin skating with Dickinson and Pearson on a third line, then maybe that's where he's going to start. And again, I keep saying this, things can change, but I think you can see my point here. The Podkolzin one's interesting because the more I think about it, the more I read about it, I think he could do okay in a second line role right off the bat, give that second line a bit more size. However, I know there are a lot of people out there that saying, no, Hoglander's got a 1 year experience already, and there's no need to rush Podkolzin. And I have time for both arguments. So that's one player I'm going to watch. The other one is Jack Rathbone, and his situation is even more interesting because he's not a shoo-in to make the team. We've talked about before, he's the only guy that, of the three battling him, Juolevi and Hunt, he's the only guy that does not have to clear waivers to get to Abbotsford. So he's a safer person to put down in Abbotsford, for instance. But will Jack Rathbone be skating on the left side with Pullman, Hamonic, or Myers, basically signaling that he's going to at least start with the inside track in the top 6? Or does he start on a fourth pairing with Luke Shen maybe on the right side, or God forbid even a fifth pairing, which I don't think would happen. So that's the other one is interesting to see, Jack Rathbone. I'd love to see him start the season with the team, but the Canucks do have options there as well. And I guess by extension, as I talk about Jack Rathbone, I think of the other pairings. Right away, will we see Hughes and Hamonic? Will we see Ekman-larsson with either Myers or Pullman, and then one of Rathbone, Juolevi, or Hunt with the other one of Myers or Pullman? And maybe we get a declaration of intent on the first day of training camp for all 3 D pairings, and then of course a 4th D pairing that skates, and then you go on from there. So all to say, aside from being really excited about training camp anyways, because we got to erase the stench of last season from our mouth and from our minds and from any other body parts, I think mostly for that first day of training camp, really interested in the combos that we're going to see, the line combos, the blue line pairings, and then we can start to hypothesize from there. But yeah, some food for thought. So I guess my question to you in the comments today is, A, do you agree with me about this declaration of intent thing? Do you agree with me that Travis Green will set some combinations that he kind of wants to go with already, or am I being kind of getting ahead of myself? And number 2, if that's indeed the case, where do you see Podkolzin and Rathbone starting day 1 of training camp with? Who are they going to play with? Who are they going to be partnering with? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to read, react, and reply as always. Shout out to my hero members, nucksfan number 29, Justin Credible, and Lucas Gates. And to my Hall of Fame members, Jens95, Sim Alexander, Chris Seifert, Adam Broomfield, Shannon Hollingworth, and Andrew Chang. Thanks for your support as always, and thanks to the support of all members of all levels. You are listed in my video descriptions. If you want to become a member of the CCC Crew, press the join button underneath this or any of my videos on the memberships tab on my YouTube channel. Thanks again for your support. Subscribe if you'd like to, like this video if you'd like to, become a member of this channel if you'd like to, leave a comment down below if you'd like to. Day 1 of training camp. Can we read anything into the combinations and pairings that we're going to see rolled out there by head coach Travis Green? All right, friends, stay safe, stay healthy, take care of yourselves, and take care of each other. Have a great day. God bless, and go Canucks go.